Alright everybody, I hope you're doing well. Today I've got a fun little video. I'm going to show a case my Serbian or Yugoslav collection of weapons. And first off, I want to say that I think Yugoslav or Serbian weapons are cool because I remember when I was a kid, the conflict in Kosovo and Serbia. I remember seeing the bombing of Belgrade, and it just kind of has stuck in my mind. And I watched the news when I was a little kid and saw newspapers with men who had cool comm block weapons, and I always thought that they were really neat looking. So I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of what I have so far and kind of talk about why I chose them. So first off is a handgun. This is a Serbian Zastava produced M88a pistol. This is chambered in 9mm parabellum, which is really handy. Holds 8+1. It's a Tokarev, and it shoots really great. I really am a big fan of this. I'm a fan of Tokarev pistols because they're really reliable and they shoot great. 7.62 by 25 is a cool round. I chose this one because it was a 9mm. I had a bunch of the mags before I got the gun, so I didn't have to worry about where am I going to get spare parts and stuff. And Zastava has spare parts for these, so it's really handy to have one. I like this one because it's got the wooden grips. And like I said, it just shoots great. It's single action, but it does have a safety. Safety is kind of weird, but it is doable with left hand as well. So, kind of. There you go. Kind of a gritty trigger, but it's not too bad. Just a neat, handy little weapon. It's just about the right size for a handgun, for a carry gun, and I really enjoy this weapon. So go ahead and put that one back. I'll show you the next one, which is this was my third SKS. This is from Yugoslavia. And this is a 5966 with the grenade launching attachment and the ladder sights. These are really interesting SKS rifles. As you know, some of you may know, the Yugoslavians love grenade launching features on rifles, and their SKS was no exception. It's got a spigot for 20 or 22mm, I can't remember, grenade, and this rifle's just really well made. They're quite nice. I received this one in basically unfired condition when I had purchased it. It just I don't think it had a round through it. It came with a booklet, and I still have all this stuff, a pouch and a booklet, and like a sling and some other things, a cleaning bottle, those little brass cleaning bottles, and like I said, I still have all that stuff. But it was sent to Slovenia, of all places, and just, I am assuming, just left in an arsenal and covered in cosmoline. That's how I received it. And the fire control, like the receiver had no wear. It was all pristine. So I have shot it, but not a bunch. I mostly just cleaned it and made it serviceable again. It's got a cool, all the numbers match, which is really neat. It's got a nice rubber butt pad for shooting grenades, and I can shoot grenades out of this. I just need to get dummy grenades and some blanks, and it'll be a fun little time. The way the ladder sight works for your grenade, you have a gas cutoff right there, and it pops up, and then you just use your your ladder sights right there. There's a better. So it's graduated for up to 150 meters. It says it's marked up there. When you're done, you just press it down and push side to side. It has a cool bladed bayonet, which hooks onto the nozzle. So good for, you know, when you're playing Call of Duty and you grenade launch somebody in a room and then you bayonet them because somehow they're still in one piece. So that's that. And I really like these SKSs. They're really, really neat. If you have a chance to pick up a Yugo SKS and it's in good shape, get one, because they're really a cool piece of history. Yeah, that's that. And now I'll move on to my newest acquisition, which is this Zastava M70 with the 1.5 mm receiver, the RPK trunnion, and the chrome lined barrel. This is a gun that I have been wanting for since I, you know, was interested in AKs. Probably a decade now, and I always thought that the Serbian guns were really cool. The M70, the AB1, AB2s were really, really neat. And I always wondered why the Serbs never chrome lined their barrels, because I had a parts kit that I had built, and the barrel on it was not in good shape, and I always thought it was sad that you know, it couldn't have been at least better preserved or better maintenance. The whole kit was covered in cosmoline, so I'm assuming that the machine gun barrel was just shot out. I did put a chrome lined barrel in that one. I may show it in a video. I don't really have any want to. Anyways, this is the new version, which basically has all the good features, and kind of left out a cool one, which is the grenade launching function. But it is okay because they do have chrome lined barrels, which is really neat. This has the distinction of being the first new M70, real M70 import for a long time. As you can see, it has the reinforced trunnion you typically find on RPKs. I put an RPK buttstock on here and an underfolding grenade launching handguard set. I probably will be changing these for something new in the future, but for now I'm going to keep them because I like them. Not anything tactical or anything like that, just something I have pretty interesting sort of custom thing that I want to kind of work on. I put a Tabuk flash hider on her, so that's pretty neat. Has a scope mount, which I put a hollow sun sight on her, and a flashlight, which I tactically face towards my eye, so that if I ever am in a panic situation, I can flip my flashlight, blind myself, and then focus again. As you can see right there, because there's this awkward random piece of pick rail just at 45, so I figured what better way to have, you know, pick rail on there than to just blind myself while I'm being a cool operator. The last thing, which you know, I thought was a must-have, is a tactical safety, which I had to do a little bit of modification to. I just had to file a surface, but now it's perfect. So yeah, that's this M70 with chrome lined barrel. Really happy to have this rifle. I you know, I have a sort of a childhood connection to the Yugoslavian conflict, I guess, or the Baltic conflict, and Balkan, geez. And it's just neat to actually possess an AK very similar to the ones that those guys that I saw in the newspapers and on the news were carrying. Just really cool. The only downside to this, and it's not really a downside, that it besides no bayonet lug, is that the original rifles had a sling loop right here on the receiver. This one has a scope mount in the way, so this buttstock, I didn't want to modify it, so I just can't put a sling on this one right now. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm going to be getting a sort of a different furniture set in the future. I can't do it anytime soon, but it's all right. And I did add the original pistol grip. Somebody did put trench art on this. This little carving right there. Yeah, that's my wife likes this gun. She likes to goof around with it. That's the Zastava M70 with chrome line barrel. Now for the big gun, which is, make sure my SKS doesn't fall down. That's suck. This guy right here, which is one of my favorite guns that I own. This is a M72 B1 RPK, Serbian made. Yugo production parts, made by James River Arms, and they did a really excellent job with this build. The rivets are pressed perfectly. The finish is great. They made a hammer forged barrel for it, and it's original non-chrome lined, which is fine because I don't shoot corrosive ammo. But it has a distinction of being an underfolder, which is really neat. This folds under the gun and makes it a really handy little package for an RPK. Kind of a neat, I don't know if any other country did underfolder RPKs ever. There you go. So yeah, really cool. It is an M72, so it does have it is an RPK. It's got the bulge trunnion. It's interesting to see the similarities between the M70 and the M72 B1. This was a 1986 production gun, and I'm assuming it didn't see much action because the parts were in excellent shape from the build. I can just kind of look at it and see there was no pitting on any of the parts that was refinished. Looked great. So kind of a shame that they had to chop these guns up in order to import them. It's stupid. We're Americans. We should be able to get original guns. We do get original guns now, but I mean, Romy's imported RPKs just recently. I picked one up in 2019, but that's been the only really interesting sort of light machine gun variant that we've been able to get a hold of, kind of like this, that isn't rebuilt. So any case, I'm very happy with this gun. It's a neat sort of conversation piece. Really, honestly, they did a really great job with the build. Like, I couldn't be happier with it. So it's pretty much as original as you can get on the American market. The only thing I did to it was just put I traded out the muzzle nut that I had on there for a trigger scoop because I put the muzzle nut on a different AK. But I don't really have a problem with it. So that's it with its bipod extended. Just a neat gun to have. I saw them used quite a bit in the news. I put this sling in, and it's neat to, when I saw one, I went, oh, I got to get one. So in any case, moving on, this is the last Yugo gun I have, and it's sort of a Frankenstein mutt gun. I'm excited about it. So I have a number of parts kits, and I am going to be sort of building them up in the future, and all of them will be gold, either gold plated or Cerakoted or whatever, or parts will be gold plated. Probably I'll gold plate portions of them to make them into a series of sort of African warlord guns. I always thought that was a neat aesthetic, and it'd just be a neat sort of ostentatious statement to have custom made guns that are embellished heavily. I already did one with my Norse AK, and I gold leafed it. I was very happy with it, but I want to try and we have a plating service here where I live, and I'm going to see about getting some of the parts gold plated on particularly this one, but some of my other ones, other parts, kits, and it'll be a neat, exciting sort of thing to say, yeah, these are custom made guns that I had gold plated, you know, just to have as a cool conversation piece, just for the collection. And if the world ends, I can go out, you know, fighting with a gold AK or, you know, whatever. So anyways, this is this box contains a M72 RPK, just like the one I showed you, but this was a fixed stock one. The stock from this kit went on my Zastava chrome line barrel gun, and I'll go ahead and show you some of the parts from it, because I'm going to be making an interesting custom spiker side folder thing. So a lot of this is covered in cosmoline, so you have to forgive me if I'm, like, you know, gently touching things, but this is a triangle folding stock. It's 4.5 millimeter. I found a gunsmith who can help me modify some of the parts to be able to do the triangle folding, because I don't have access to a mill, you know, where I, you know, in my house, or a lathe, so I have to kind of find somebody to help me with that. But this is a Type 56 spike bayonet, and what this means is my RPK will be a spiker triangle folder. So I'll go ahead and show you some other things for this. This is the Type 56 front sight base, and this hinges. I got what's cool about the M72 is that it has the fattest AK barrel, I think. It is honestly like an inch in outer diameter almost. So what that means is I have plenty of material to turn down to accept, because the Chinese guns also had kind of medium heavy barrels, but the Yugo M72 has a heavy barrel. So I have plenty of room to cut material down to press this front sight on, which is nice because that means I can actually use it. And I looked at the dimensions of the Chinese sight and the Yugo sight, and they're almost identical as far as the elevation. So I don't have to worry about my gun being like weird aiming elevation off or anything like that. They're very close. So a little bit of adjustment on the post probably will, you know, fix anything. This is the handguard from it. Still covered in cosmoline, but in excellent shape. There's, you know, very few dings or scratches or anything. Here's the gas tube, and this kit was unissued. This was a unfired gun. There's no rust, no wear on any of the parts. I was very lucky to get this, especially for $300. This is a, you know, for a stamp receiver. That's pretty neat. Let's see here. Sorry, everything's sort of sticky and stuck. Like I was saying, here's the trunnion, and as you can see, there's no wear on. I don't know if you can see, but the locking surfaces have no wear. Everything's black, like just unfired. I was amazed when I received this, because I've seen, I have a kit that was shot to shit, and this one is, I mean, you can see the surface on the outside was just pristine. This gun, like, never saw action. The rear sight is not bent. The windage thing is not bent. It's just perfect. Here's the front of the old gun with the bipod and the muzzle nut. So that's cool. I can use this on a different gun if I want to make a custom build again. Here's the whole dust cover. It's got its serial number on there. But you can see the inside, there's no scratching on that surface there. It's just I mean, the gun was never ever taken apart or shot or anything. Really, really cool to be able to get that. So here's the fun part. This is the barrel I got for it. This is a 16-inch chrome line barrel. And see, it has the cooling fins. All I have to do is turn more of this down to accept the front sight, and it will be good to go. Really excited to have that. And here's the receiver. This is for a RPK, obviously, but it has the button cutouts for the side folding stock. Very excited, and just couldn't be happier with the quality of all these parts. I'm very, very, very excited. I'm going to spray this. With oil. So anyways, that's that. Just to give you an idea of what is in the pipe still. I've had this kit for, you know, a couple years now. Just haven't done anything with it yet. But you know, some things are coming up. I still have a few other projects I kind of want to focus on. That barrel's just in the white. Anyways, like I said, I have a few other things I'm focusing on. I do have to pick up another parts kit. I got to do some trading for some stuff, but if you haven't checked out Mike J's channel on Full 30, you should. He's a very talented gunsmith. He makes all sorts of cool guns, and I'll be trading him some stuff pretty soon, and I'll show you that when I get it. So anyways, that's the Yugo collection that I have. Like I said, I have a childhood connection to Serbia, like through the news. It was my first sort of awareness of politics, and so it's neat to be able to like see, you know, the boomers. They had World War II and Vietnam to kind of historize a little bit, and for me it's the conflict in like Kosovo and Serbia and Croatia and all that that really kind of sticks out in my childhood. I know Desert Storm was going on too, but the Balkan Wars are kind of what I sort of remember seeing in the news more. I don't know why, but it's neat, like I said, just to have weapons very similar to the ones that were used. Some minor adjustments, some tactical features like this reverse flashlight. Yeah, that's my Serbian Yugoslavian collection. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for kind of peeking into my AK collection a little bit, or my combat collection a little bit. I'll have more videos soon. I've just been really busy. I do hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.